but more importantly, Baron Vaughn is that dude. Ladies and gentlemen, Baron Vaughn, that dude. All right.
Thank you, motherfuckers. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. Everybody on the count of three, yell out where you're from. 1, 2, 3. I've been there. I'm from a small town off the beaten path that none of you have ever probably heard of. It's called Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's my impression of everything I've ever heard when I tell people I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. What? 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 You're from Vegas? I didn't know it was from Vegas. Did you get a casino? Were all the high school teachers showgirls? Did you get paid in poker chips? Do all your family members have a gambling problem? Here's my impression of the answer to all those questions. Yes. Because that's what people think about Vegas. Like, they think it's like, my mom is there. I am going to have family time over the holidays, whereas these other mofos on the plane are going to the Shangri-La of debauchery. So they're talking about something else when we're on the plane, and I got nothing. Like, they're up there like, yeah, Vegas! There's gonna be cocaine and hookers! And I'm like, I'm gonna sleep on my mom's couch! And they're like, we're gonna drink and gamble all day and night! And I'm like, I hope she makes her spaghetti! Splash of cinnamon, that's the secret to black people's spaghetti! And they're like, we're gonna have experiences we'll never forget, / never remember! And then I'm like, I'm gonna get into an awkward conversation with my white stepfather about who started slavery! And then I'm gonna walk away and say, I don't want to talk about this. But then an hour later, he's gonna come over to me with a printout from the internet, throw it in my lap, and say, see, Africans started it. And instead of stabbing him in the chest, I'll just say, Merry Christmas! So it's different. I go to Vegas for different reasons. Fantastic. I do this thing that no one should do in New York, and none of you probably do because you're normal, and or you've done it and you learned. But I keep doing it because I can't stop. When I'm walking around the streets of New York City, I'm constantly making random eye contact with people on the street. Exactly, because rarely are those motherfuckers sane. I did that recently in Minneapolis. Here's what happened. Hello. And then the motherfucker walked away. And in New York, it doesn't work like that because there are people constantly on the street that are waiting to make eye contact with somebody. You kind of have to realize, whose humanity do I get to destroy today? And then I like look up, am I on the right street? Connection established. I'm just saying, if you want to get yelled at for no reason in the streets of New York, it's really easy to make that happen because we have an awful, awful, horrible, horrible homeless problem. We all know it. There's a lot of homeless people in New York. Here's my example. There are so many homeless people in New York that every New Yorker has a favorite. Whether it's one guy in particular you always give sandwich and change to, or it's a genre of homelessness that you gravitate toward because you identify with essential themes. And my favorite kind of homeless people are crazy, ranty, I'm suddenly angry at you for standing next to me and being all normal. Those are my favorite kinds because they let you know and then you get to participate in the theater. You're like, I'm on Broadway! Here's an example. I was in the train the other day, homeless dude standing by the door, kind of Picasso. Not bothering anybody, minding his own business. Looking at his 2 trash bags filled with lost hope. Then a guy gets into the train with this camera around around his neck as if to say, I know a little something about photography, really cocky, cleaning off the lens. He's like, yeah, they call it a cannon, because everything I shoot's a fucking explosion. Homeless dude sees him and loses it. I don't know why. He's just like, what are you doing with that camera? The cameraman? The picture taker? You're in and out of focus. JPEG, 300 DPI, Adobe Photoshop picture man, camera picture man, camera picture taker! And then like there was a cue in his head that said, and now do something predictable. He took out a 40-ounce of Old English and downed it in 3 chugs. I'm not joking. He was just like, look, picture taker! He made drinking sound effects. Here's the thing that I like more than crazy ranty homeless people. It's people who try to reason with crazy ranty homeless people. Because Cameron McGillicuddy is not going to be intimidated by the tirade from Rance McGee. He's getting spit on, beer is being spilled in his jeans and his shoes. Here's his response to the tirade. He goes like this, he goes, I'll put my camera away if you put that beer away. And then kind of lean forward as if to say, checkmate. Kingmate. And I'm like, those are 2 different games. And then the homeless dude said what I was thinking. Same wavelength. He was just like, what? This isn't Let's Make a Deal. He was right. Gotta be an awful episode of Let's Make a Deal. I'm just saying, you know, homeless dude, same wavelength. Like, the only thing that separates me from him is Twitter. Basically, that's it. I got no filter, but I fit it into 140 characters. Therefore, I'm still alive. Twitter's the bastard cousin of Facebook, as we all know. I could go on and on about Facebook, but I've already blogged about it. So check that out on things you already know about Facebook.nooneusesblogspot.com. I'll tell you my favorite thing about Facebook is how much it's changed dating for a lot of people. Because now a first date to a lot of people is pretending like you haven't memorized the information on someone else's Facebook page and pretending like those are also your interests. You get to act. It's like, wait a minute, what? You're from Michigan? I had no idea. That's my favorite state. What? Donnie Darko and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is your favorite movie. What a coincidence, for they are also my favorite movie. That's almost as strange of a coincidence as if The Kite Runner and The Alchemist were your favorite books. What? They are. We both like to be inspired. Let me ask you this. Is one of your favorite TV shows Arrested Development? Oh my God! We should be Facebook friends. Now for the Super Bowl. That's how it goes. Thank you, 5 people.